Hello and welcome to Fat Man in a Cheap Sim, and this time it's a video from the Nurburgring in the Group 2 cars. I've got the Nissan, I was going to say a Nissan Sunny, but it's not a Nissan Sunny. It is of course the Nissan Skyline, a much faster car and from a completely different period. So here we go for 4 laps of the Nurburgring GP circuit. I started in 5th position. The key thing will be, where will I finish, and will this be a DR killer like many of the races in the last couple of weeks? It's been pretty horrendous, but I'm sure we can make it happen and see how we get on. Now we come down into the first corner. It's very tricky here, and I managed to get on the inside of Louis, the fellow Brit, and get quite a good entrance into the first corner, then into the second corner. It's looking alright. But Lewis isn't very happy, and you'll see as he comes hearing through straight into me, he's tapped, and there I go, right the way down to 7th, right the way down almost to, in fact, 9th by we come through the first few corners. So it's all work to do, and this was a track I hadn't really done a lot of practice at, so I was desperately trying to make it work so that we could be as fast as possible. Now, we come through into the right-hander and down onto the kind of short straight coming into the hairpin. I hope this is loud enough for everyone. And then we come on through round the hairpin. You've got to watch as you accelerate out of there, as it can easily send the car spinning round. And we're quite close to the guy in 9th, but we're struggling. So, how many places can I get back by the end of the race? Now someone's gone wide there, so I'm up into 9th. That was just past the Schumacher S's, and then we head on down the back straight through the flat out right-hander and then into the very tricky chicane, which I never really managed to get them right. I think I was too slow through it. I could get the left, but I just didn't get the line right for the right-hander. Then you're coming into this right-hander, the car tends to understeer quite a lot, but we're coming through to complete lap 1. So it's damage limitation, but we're thinking we can definitely get up the field because we were not too far away and our times were getting a little bit quicker. End of lap 1, 9th position, coming into the first corner. It's sharp, it's tight, it's also slightly off camber, but we managed to get through without losing control. Into the left, and this is a really tricky section. You can take a lot of curb there, but you've got to be careful. It's really tricky. And then especially this right-hander, trying to keep as much speed as possible. And then I've got the guy's weaving in front to try and keep me behind him. Into the tight left, and then into the tight right. It's certainly getting there. And we come down the short back straight to come into the hairpin, trying to brake just at that start of the curb. Around the hairpin we go. No dramas there. We managed to get out. A little bit of skinning, but we're okay. Tiny little bit of movement. Through the Schumacher S's. And then along up to the left-hander, which you try and let the car, if you can, roll through. Taking a bit of curb there. Probably going to take it a wee bit more. There's a bit of argy-bargy in front. And these cars are now holding me up quite a bit. I was quite annoyed because I thought, I know I could do better here, I know I could be a lot faster. And I was annoyed that I was kind of taking off on the first few bends. Now we come into the chicane to complete lap 2. Up to the right-hander, 1 corner to go. Let's see what we can do. I wonder if that was Lewis, the chap behind me. No, it was somebody else. Okay. I think some of the other ones who caused the accidents at the start may well have spun off or be further up the field. So we have a reasonable run into the first corner. We've caught up with 8th place, but can we get a little bit more than that? We really need to try and get back up to 5th if we can. So we come into the left-hand bend, taking a good bit of curb there. Looks quite reasonable. Then over to the right and along short straight. That's at the end of the first sector. We're still in 9th place. Can we get any more places up? We're on lap 3. Down the back, short back straight. Heading off into the hairpin here. There we go, round the hairpin without any drama, which is good. And we're past someone already, up into 8th place. There's either been a penalty or a spinner. And there, up into past the Schumacher S's. And now into the left. I was beginning to get this a little bit better, realising that you didn't have to brake for this right-hander. You could just stay in third, back off the throttle a bit, and the car would turn in quite nicely. And it was all about getting the power on as early as you could to get down the back straight, the flat-out right-hander, into the chicane. This was really crucial. It was tough. Going for the move here, just managed to get in on the left-hand side, and we go for it. That was a nice move there, I have to say. That worked out rather well. And now we're up into 7th place. And I think this is lap 3 or lap 4. Well, we'll soon know by the end of it. Coming into the first corner. Almost a lunge there, but we managed to get round the first corner without any problems. Into the left. Now, it all goes wrong here, and all of a sudden I've lost a huge amount of momentum, and the door is left wide open, and then I managed to get through, but the chap goes through into 7th and back into 8th, and I'm struggling out of that corner. I lose even more speed after a bit of a problem, a bit of a power slide coming through, and now I'm right back and onto the gravel and the dust, and it's all over. Down into 13th place on the last lap, so basically there's no way of getting that back. So can I do anything at all to try and rescue the positions? Coming into the hairpin. This was certainly turning out to be a race to forget. I would call it kind of Gran Turismo at its best, when you just have those days when nothing goes well. I did go back to Interlagos, I think, straight after this race. And there we go. On up, down the back straight. And it's the flat-out right-hander as we come to complete the lap, coming into the chicane. And I think someone may well have gotten a penalty coming through here. That was actually the best way I took that the whole race. And then coming to the final corner, into the right-hander. Someone's had a wee spin or a penalty, and they've gone off. And I managed to get 12th place in the end, but overall not a fantastic race. I would say a disaster at the Nurburgring. But there you are. That's Fat Man in a cheap sim.